Hello and welcome to Country Life Simple. Today we're going to make 3 different breads. Not quite. We're actually going to prepare 3. We're going to bake 2 and we're going to freeze 1. Make sense? It will in a minute. So over on the bench there I've got 2 pre-doughs going. One for some sourdough bread rolls and one for a wholemeal bread. But I decided wholemeal bread is normally quite large and it does dry out quite quickly. I decided that I'm just going to split it. So I'm going to divide the dough into half and I'm going to use half of the dough today. I'm going to add some seeds to it because I really crave some seeded bread. And then the other half I'm going to bulk ferment on the bench and then I'm going to shape it, put it in a bread tin, put it in the freezer. So next weekend or whenever I run out of the original bread, I can just pop it in the fridge, out of the freezer into the fridge overnight, and the next morning bake it and it's ready to go. So really limited amount of work, which I think is great because I've got a super busy week coming up with board visits and CEO visits and tours and all of that. So I'm going to be out of the house from very early in the morning until very late at night. So I won't really have time to prepare anything. And I know once I do have time, what do I want? I want to eat nice sourdough bread. So all I have to do is just bake it. And that's normally the shortest amount of time. I can pop it in the oven when I go and walk the dog. By the time I come back from dog walking, the bread is ready to be eaten. Well, at least I can take it out of the oven and then I have to patiently wait a little bit until it's cool enough to eat. But enough with the talking. Come on and join me and make some bread. So for the bread, I've already prepared my pre-dough. And what I actually did is I added 100 grams of water, 100 grams of wholemeal flour, 10 grams of Sourdough, my starter. Left that overnight, and then early this morning when I first woke up, I added another 100 grams of water and 100 grams of flour. And I left that for another about, just looking at the time here, about 4 hours. And then here in my mixing bowl, I'll show you in a minute, I have 800 grams of wholemeal flour and 500 grams of water. And I'm now going to add the starter to it and mix it all up before I add the other ingredients. Alright, so I've got 850 grams of the dough in here, and I'm gonna add 100 grams of mixed seeds. So it's pumpkin, sunflower, sesame seed, and linseed, I think. I think there's some other seed in there, but I've forgotten. And 50 grams of water. And I'm just gonna mix this up thoroughly now. And here you see 3 different kinds of bread dough for the week. So first we've got some pre-dough for some sourdough bread rolls. I'm going to start them a little bit later because they only take about 2 hours. Well, obviously these 2 breads, they're going to take a bit longer. So this one here is the wholemeal flour without any additives. And this is the wholemeal flour with the seeds. You can see it's a little bit more liquid because of the extra water, which I needed to add because otherwise, yeah, it just gets too dry with the seeds. So these 2 will ferment for about 3 hours. You can do a stretch and fold if you like. I normally don't, maybe once, just to sort of look at them. And then I'm gonna bake this one today, and I'm gonna shape this one and put it in a sandwich tin, like a bread tin, and put it in the freezer. So I only have to take it out of the freezer, put it in the fridge overnight, and I can bake it easily without any mixing up of anything. And yeah, this one I baked today, and this one I'm going to bake today as well. This is just my pre-dough for the sourdough bread rolls. I'll see you back here probably in about 1.5 hours. That's when we start the sourdough bread rolls. See, it's starting to bubble. Nice. Welcome back to my messy kitchen. Please don't look in the back there. I'm preparing lunch, baking bread, and bread rolls all at the same time. The dough for the bread is still rising. I shaped it and put the seeded one in a banneton and shaped the other one and put it in the bread tin and put it in the freezer. So we'll see that next time. And now I'm going to make the bread roll dough. So again, I've got a pre-dough here, and I've got a little bit of a, this is just, I'm not sure what the English name is, a Kochstück, which is flour and water boiled and mixed into a paste, and it cooled down in the fridge overnight. I'm going to add that to flour, water, and then mix it, and then add some salt later on. That's the dough for the bread rolls. As you can see, it's a nice smooth dough. I'm going to turn this off now and let it rest for about 20 minutes. And these are the bread rolls. They're the same kind, just some have a nice cut, and these ones were actually made with a stamp. So they look really nice and really yummy, and they're cooling down on the wire rack now, and I'm looking forward to have one for dinner tonight. So while the bread rolls look really good, and hopefully taste really good as well, I had a really big problem with my bread. I'll show you. It's a pancake. What happened? It had risen really nicely. It looked really good. It was ready to go in the oven, and I thought, ooh, I really would like some seeds on the outside as well. So I sprayed it with water and put some seeds on it. Then I put my oven gloves on, and I had the bread on a piece of baking paper, and I was holding it to put it in the cast iron dish I use, and it slipped. One side slipped out of my hand, and it fell face down, poof. Of course, as soon as it fell, it deflated. I was able to get it out, but I wasn't able to get it to rise. I'm going to cut it, see how it looks like inside. I'm sure it's still going to taste fine. It just looks like shit. But that happens. It does happen. This is live. You should have seen my floor. I had all the good seeds I wanted on the bread on the floor. I was probably quite lucky that it actually did fell on top of the cast iron dish and not on the floor. Otherwise, this would have now been in the bin. But it's disappointing, isn't it? I'll cut it and show you how it looks like on the inside, so you get an idea on how it potentially could look if you just imagine it like, you know, that high. And hopefully the the next one I've got in the freezer, I'm gonna bake that, I guess, on the weekend or so, and fingers crossed that's gonna get better. So this is how it looks like on the inside. Not too bad, but yeah, it's still disappointing. I was really looking forward to a nice grainy bread. I guess I have a really nice grainy pancakey bread. Oh well, it happens, eh? One thing I've recently started making is water kefir. It's still spring, but we're going into summer very soon here in Australia, and it's gonna be hot. And I normally do drink a lot of water, but sometimes I'm sick and tired of water. I don't really like soft drinks. I don't really like juices all that much. In summer, a lot of times I do drink some sparkling water just to get some minerals in my body when you know, do a lot of sweating when it's hot and muggy. And I came across water kefir, and I always thought, oh, I really want to try this myself. So I've been doing this for about 3 months now. So I've got water kefir grains in here. It's probably hard to see. They were just in the fridge, and this is like just a sugar solution. And I'm going to scoop them out and put them in here. In here I have a liter of water. I've got about 30 grams of brown sugar, raw sugar. I've got about half a teaspoon of molasses and a pinch of bicarb soda. And I'm going to strain the sugar water out of these and then add them in here and leave them for about 24 to 48 hours, and then it becomes all fizzy. And then I'm going to add some fruit juice, or I'm going to add some fruit themselves, and I do a second ferment. I will show that to you in next week's video, so you see the second part. But for the first part, I'm going to strain those, put them in here, and wait. So I added my water kefir grains. You can buy them. I'm going to put, for those of you who are in Australia, I'm going to put the link where I purchased these ones in the description box below. And I also purchased this bottle there. Comes with an attachment, like a lid attachment. It's like a, you know, I can strain the water and keep my little creatures in there. Goes on here, and then this one goes on top as well. You sort of put tight, and then the top one you sort of want it loose because you do want air to sort of go through here so that this actually can ferment. And then I've got a different lid for the second fermentation. But yeah, I'm going to just leave this now for, like I said, about 24 to 48, well 48 hours really. And then it's nice and fizzy, and you'll see the next part in next week's video. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Sorry that my bread didn't turn out, but yeah, it does happen when you sort of plonk it from too high. It does deflate. It will not rise again. I'm sorry, it just, that's the way it is. And then it fell face down too. Of course it did. Oh well, never mind. I tried it. It tastes good. It's not quite as soft, I guess, as I wanted it to be, but it's alright. The next one will turn out better. So in next week's video, I'll show you how I'm gonna take the other bread, same dough. I put it in the freezer today. I'll show you how I make that, and I'll also show you the second ferment of the water kefir. So hopefully you join me then, and until then, have a good time. See you. Bye.